Before you go any further, pause, not with your mind, with your breath. If you are here, if these words have found you on this exact day, this exact moment, understand this first and clearly. This is not coincidence. This is not algorithm. This is alignment. Before the transmission deepens, anchor yourself into this moment. If it feels right, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment describing what you have been feeling since the shift, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Your interaction is not trivial. It grounds this activation into matter. It stabilizes what has already begun inside you. Now listen. December 14 is not the afterday. It is the first dawn of a life that no longer belongs to your past. What you survived on December 13th was not symbolic, it was not metaphorical, it was not imagination. It was a real energetic severance, a split between timelines, identities, and versions of self that could no longer coexist. And now, here you are, breathing, awake, different. You may feel disoriented, emotionally raw, quiet in a way that feels unfamiliar, as if the noise that once lived in your chest has suddenly gone silent. Or perhaps the opposite, your nervous system buzzing, your body humming with something you cannot name, your thoughts floating between clarity and exhaustion. You are not broken, you are not unstable, you are integrating. December 13 shattered an internal architecture that had already expired. December 14 is the first day you wake up without it. And the soul knows. You might notice it immediately upon waking. The air feels thinner. Time feels altered. Your old routines feel foreign, almost artificial. Certain people, habits, or desires suddenly feel distant, like memories from another lifetime rather than parts of who you are. This is the aftershock of the split. A split not between worlds, but between who you were trained to be and who you were designed to become. You crossed something last night, a threshold that does not announce itself with fireworks, but with silence, with stillness, with the uncanny feeling that something monumental has happened and no one around you seems to notice. That is because this shift was not collective in the way mass events are. It was selective. It was precise, targeted, personal. It happened on the level of soul contracts, quantum probability, and higher self-alignment. It was triggered when you reached a frequency that could no longer sustain the old narrative. And now, December 14 arrives not as a celebration, but as a responsibility. Because the new timeline does not stabilize itself automatically. You are the stabilizer. Right now, you may feel suspended between identities. The old self feels inaccessible, almost hollow, like trying to step back into a costume that no longer fits your body. But the new self does not yet feel fully embodied either. It is present, but not fully anchored. This is the in-between, the liminal corridor, the bridge. And bridges are not meant to live on forever. This is why December 14 matters. This is the day where you decide, consciously or unconsciously, whether you will collapse back into familiar patterns or anchor forward into unfamiliar truth. The universe is watching, not with judgment, but with calibration. You may feel emotionally exposed today, sensitive to noise, crowds, expectations. Your nervous system may crave solitude, water, stillness. Your body is recalibrating to a higher bandwidth. Cellular memory is reorganizing. Old ancestral programs are loosening their grip. This can feel like grief without an object, like missing something you cannot name, like mourning a life you outgrew overnight. That grief is not weakness, it is evidence of completion. You are grieving the version of you that survived while welcoming the version of you that leads. December 13 was the rupture. December 14 is the embodiment. And embodiment is where most initiations fail. Because it is one thing to awaken in the cosmic realms. It is another to wake up, brush your teeth and live from that awareness. This is where destiny separates from fantasy. You may already feel the test forming around you, subtle invitations to slip back, old triggers knocking, familiar distractions calling your name, people who sense without understanding that you are changing and unconsciously try to pull you back into who you were for their comfort. These are not punishments, they are confirmations. The universe does not test what is not real. And make no mistake, December 14 is a test day. Not a harsh one, a precise one. You are being asked, gently but firmly, will you honor what changed or pretend nothing happened? Your choices today carry disproportionate weight. Small decisions ripple farther than they normally would. What you tolerate, what you consume, what you speak, what you agree to, these are not neutral acts right now. They are timeline votes. You are no longer choosing outcomes, you are choosing identity. This is why you may feel a sudden intolerance for things you once accepted, lower standards, emotional chaos, self-betrayal disguised as kindness, noise that disconnects you from your intuition. Your system cannot process them anymore. You didn't become too sensitive, you became accurate. And accuracy feels intense at first. December 14 is the first sunrise where your higher self is no longer a distant concept. It is not watching from above, it is inside the body, learning how to move your hands, your voice, your attention. This can feel awkward. You may feel unsure how to act, what to prioritize, who to be. That uncertainty is not confusion, it is recalibration. A newborn consciousness does not rush, it stabilizes. You are stabilizing. And I need you to hear this clearly because doubt may whisper otherwise. You are not imagining this. You are not overthinking. You are not losing touch with reality. You are touching it for the first time without filters. December 13 removed a layer that once buffered you from truth. December 14 introduces direct contact. This is why intuition feels louder now, why your gut reactions are faster, why certain choices feel immediately right or wrong without explanation, why synchronicities may already be lining up, numbers, symbols, phrases, encounters, quietly confirming your direction. These are not signs to chase, they are navigation markers. You are no longer meant to analyze your way forward. You are meant to resonate your way forward. And resonance requires stillness. If you feel the urge to slow down today, honor it. If you feel called to protect your energy, honor it. If you feel drawn to silence, water, journaling, music, prayer, or simply being alone, honor it. Stabilization is not passive, it is deliberate gentleness. Your body is learning to hold a frequency that once only visited you in flashes, during dreams, breakdowns, moments of awe or sudden clarity. Now it must live there, and that takes compassion. You may notice vivid dreams continuing, or a strange neutrality to old fears, or the sense that something you once worried about intensely no longer has emotional charge. That is because those fears belonged to the old timeline. They cannot cross with you. The split was clean, and this is where the truth becomes unavoidable. You cannot go back, not fully, even if you tried. The old identity depended on a version of consciousness that no longer exists in you. Any attempt to recreate it will feel exhausting, hollow, performative. This is why December 14 can feel quieter than December 13, less dramatic, less explosive. But do not mistake quiet for insignificance. This is the day foundations are laid, and foundations are invisible once the structure rises. You are being asked today to practice embodiment, not perfection, presence, to move slower, to choose with awareness, to notice how your body responds when you align versus when you compromise. The universe is not demanding action yet, it is asking for stability. Because what comes next, what will unfold in the coming days, requires a grounded vessel. You are becoming that vessel. And understand this, not everyone who awakens becomes a bridge. Not everyone who crosses a threshold becomes a stabilizer. Some glimpse and retreat. Some awaken and fragment. Some feel the call and ignore it. But you stayed. You listened. You crossed. You are here on December 14. That means something has already chosen you. You are not just adapting to a new timeline, you are anchoring it. And that is why December 14 matters more than you realize. In the next phase of this transmission, we will speak clearly about what exactly split on December 13, why it had to happen the way it did, and what role you are now meant to play as you walk forward on this new path. Do not rush ahead. Now breathe again, slowly. Not because you are anxious, but because your system is learning a new rhythm. What you are feeling right now is the subtle gravity of a different world pulling on you. Not a different planet, a different probability field, a different arrangement of cause and effect, a different agreement between your soul and reality itself. December 13 was not chaos, it was precision disguised as collapse. And December 14 is not recovery, it is orientation. You did not wake up into the same timeline you fell asleep in. The surface may look familiar, the same rooms, the same streets, the same faces, but the underlying architecture has shifted, like a building that looks unchanged from the outside, while every internal support beam has been replaced overnight. You are walking through familiar spaces with a different frequency now. That is why things feel slightly unreal, why time stretches and compresses, why moments feel heavier, richer, more charged, why your reactions surprise you, either calmer than expected, or more decisive, or strangely detached. This is not dissociation, it is recalibration to coherence. On December 13, the universe closed a loop you had been living inside for years, perhaps lifetimes, a karmic corridor that taught you resilience, perception, and depth, but could not take you any further without breaking you. So it broke itself instead. The split you experienced was not between good and bad, success and failure, light and dark. It was between survival-based identity and sovereign-based identity. The old self was built to endure, the new self is built to direct, and endurance cannot lead where direction is required. This is why the shift felt sudden, why there was no gradual transition, why the door closed behind you without negotiation. Some timelines end with applause, others end with silence. This one ended with certainty. You may now notice that your inner dialogue has changed. Less arguing, less justification, less self-explanation. Instead, a quiet knowing that does not ask permission. A sense of, I simply will not do that anymore, without drama, without guilt. That is the voice of alignment. The old voice asked, what if? The new voice says, no. This is not hardness, this is clarity. And clarity can feel cold to identities built on emotional turbulence. You are not losing your compassion, you are losing your self-abandonment. December 14 is the first full day where this new internal authority begins to assert itself, not loudly, not aggressively, but steadily, like gravity. You may feel drawn away from noise, distraction, and performative urgency. Things that once stimulated you now feel draining. Conversations that revolved around problems, gossip, or circular thinking suddenly feel intolerable. Your system is no longer designed to feed on friction. You have crossed into a timeline where energy must be clean to be sustainable. This is why intuition is now your primary navigation system. Logic still has a role, but it no longer leads. Intuition is faster than thought because it does not calculate, it recognizes, and recognition feels like relief. You may feel an odd sense of inevitability today, as if certain outcomes are already decided, not because you are powerless, but because you are finally aligned with what was always meant to occur once you stopped resisting it. This is what walking on the new timeline feels like: less force, more accuracy, fewer options, but better ones. The universe is no longer offering you endless paths, it is offering you the path. And the path feels narrow at first, not because it is restrictive, but because it is focused. On December 13, multiple versions of you were collapsed into one. Possibilities that depended on you staying fragmented were released. Futures that required you to remain uncertain dissolved. This is why the future may feel strangely quiet right now. Fewer fantasies, fewer dramatic visions. Instead, a grounded sense of direction without detailed imagery. Do not mistake this for lack of vision. This is trust replacing imagination. You no longer need to visualize every step when your soul already knows where you are going. And yet, this is where many hesitate. Because walking the new timeline requires letting go of the emotional identity tied to struggle. The version of you that felt valuable because of how much it endured. The version that bonded with others through pain, chaos, or shared wounds. That identity cannot come with you, not because it was wrong, but because its work is complete. You may feel moments of guilt today, a strange sense of, who am I if I'm not fixing, saving, proving, or enduring? That question is not a threat, it is an invitation. You are becoming someone who chooses rather than reacts, and choice carries responsibility. This is why December 14 can feel heavier than December 13 in a quieter way. The adrenaline of the split has passed. What remains is agency. No one is pushing you now. No cosmic hand is forcing transformation. You are standing in open space, and what you do in this space matters. Small actions today stabilize large trajectories. The way you speak to yourself, the boundaries you hold, the pace you move at, the respect you give your energy. These are not self-care gestures, they are timeline anchors. You may notice subtle tests appearing today. Nothing dramatic, just familiar invitations, an old pattern knocking softly. A moment where you could overextend, over-explain, or override your intuition for comfort. These moments are not traps, they are mirrors. Each time you honor the new self, the timeline solidifies. Each time you betray it, you feel immediate friction, not punishment, but misalignment feedback. Reality has become more responsive now, faster, cleaner. This is what happens when you move into a higher coherence field. Cause and effect tighten, lessons accelerate, manifestation speeds up, both constructive and destructive. This is why stabilization is essential. You are learning to hold power without leaking it. And yes, this is power, not dominance, not control, but the power of self-consistency. You are becoming someone whose inner world and outer actions match. That is rare. That is destabilizing to systems built on incongruence. Which is why you may feel subtly alone today, even if you are surrounded by people. Not lonely, just separate, as if you are slightly out of phase with the collective rhythm. You are. You are now walking a timeline that runs parallel to the old one, close enough to observe, far enough to not be governed by it. This is what it means to be a bridge, and bridges feel tension from both sides. But remember this, you were not brought here to isolate, you were brought here to stabilize and transmit, to live in a way that quietly demonstrates what alignment looks like in human form, not through preaching, not through proving, through presence. December 14th is teaching you how to stand in that presence without collapsing back into old roles. You are not meant to rush decisions today, but you are meant to notice. Notice what feels expansive versus contracting. Notice what drains you versus nourishes you. Notice where your body relaxes and where it tightens. Your body is now an oracle. Trust it. The mind will catch up later. In the next segment, we will move deeper into the moment where your future self steps forward, takes the lead, and begins to actively shape what comes next, where the responsibility of the chosen path becomes clear and where you are asked to consciously commit to not going back. For now, remain here, walking, breathing, anchoring. You are not behind. You are exactly where the new timeline begins.